Hi and welcome to the Flight Attendant channel made by Crucible. If it's the first time you're watching one of our videos, make sure you hit subscribe button below for more travel tips, secrets from flight attendants, crazy stories and much more. Today we'll be revealing to you the top 5 airplane travel secrets that us cabin crew know and we feel you passengers deserve to know too. If you guys find the content valuable in this video, we would appreciate a like below as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And it will help us to get these secrets to as many people as possible, making for more happy travelers. So without further ado, secret number 1. Do not order your coffee on board. Or to be honest, don't really order any hot drink on board. If you need a shot of caffeine or something to warm you up, try to get your coffee in the airport before you actually take off. Why is that, you may ask? What's the difference between a coffee from the plane and a coffee from the airport? Well, when we pass through the cabin with our bar service trolley, we take with us a kettle of hot, not boiling, I'll get to that in a minute, hot water. One of the reasons the water's not boiling is because it's not safe to have boiling water on the trolley. If we experience any unexpected turbulence, you never know and some might just spill onto a passenger. But the main reason is because of these bad boys. These are our onboard water boilers that we have in both front and rear galley. This is where we get our water from. Now, as I said before, we get the hot water, not boiling water. The water we get comes around 80 degrees Celsius. So it's not far from boiling point, but it's certainly not boiling. Meaning that the hot water that we pour into your coffee comes from a tank that's not regularly cleaned or disinfected because it's very hard to actually clean and disinfect that tank in the rear of the aircraft. So what we are actually pouring is hot water that's not boiling, so that doesn't disinfect or get rid of any bacteria. So in my opinion, it's better to hold off on your coffee until you land or grab one before you take off from a proper coffee machine in a cafe, trust me. Our secret number 2 is that the toilets on board are never truly locked, meaning that even if you have locked the toilet from the inside, there's a way for us to open that toilet from the outside. There's many reasons why us as cabin crew are able and should be able to open the toilet from the outside, but they're mainly safety related. For example, if we smell smoke or burning from inside the toilet when someone is inside, he might be smoking or she might be smoking. So we need to go and check. Now we'll tell you how to open the toilet from the outside. It's quite easy to do. Just lift up the latch that says lavatory, slide across the lock from one side to the other, and you'll see the occupied sign goes from red to green, and then it'll probably say something like empty. And bingo, toilet door unlocked from the outside. As a passenger, you won't really need to do this, but if you are inside, it's always good just to keep an eye on the lock just in case. Here's a little fun fact about the aircraft toilets. A lot of passengers ask me this. Why is there still an ashtray installed into the toilets if you're not allowed to smoke on board anymore anyway? It's because if someone is tempted to smoke on board, at least they can use the ashtray and not the bin. And if you use the bin, which is full of tissues, it could cause a fire. So at least they can just, use the ashtray. And when we do catch you smoking, I say when because we always catch you smoking, get ready for a nice big fat fine. And also we call the police and they will escort you off the plane. And we also blacklist you, meaning that you won't be able to book any more tickets with our company, and all tickets you've booked for future flights are void. So if you've booked a return ticket from your holidays, you're not going to be able to fly with us. You're going to have to try to find a last minute ticket or something from another company. So secret number 3 should be something that comforts everyone who gets on a plane. Planes can't crash from turbulence. To be honest, turbulence can be pretty scary. I mean, I've had my fair share of sketchy moments with turbulence, especially clear air turbulence or CAT turbulence as we call them because it's unexpected. It can be quite dangerous, especially if you're standing in the cabin. You can bang your head, trolley can fall on you. Those are the real consequences of turbulence, but the plane can't crash due to turbulence. There have been some cases of major injuries during turbulence, but no crashes of the plane. I'm pretty sure you've all seen on the news images and videos of turbulence on the plane and the aftermath of it, like you see. The best way though for you to see if the turbulence is going to get worse is to see if us flight attendants are in the cabin or not. If you see us walking around doing our duties and it's a bit bumpy, then it's not going to be that bad. But if you see us go to our jump seats, which is where we sit and we strap in, you're in for a bumpy ride. Secret number 4 is actually quite complicated, but it boils down to the fact that you may actually leave the plane once you've boarded and the delay has been announced, meaning that you're not trapped on the plane if you want to leave. Just don't expect to come back on. We'll do a separate video explaining passenger rights during delays down the line. For this specific secret, we're talking about slot delays, or ATC restrictions, air traffic control restriction delays. Unfortunately, these delays are out of our hands. They're due to a high amount of traffic, air traffic, either at your current airport, landing airport, or on the route that you'll be taking. Maybe there's a big storm along the way causing the planes to go around, or the airspace of a certain country has been closed for some reason. And as I just said, there's not much anyone can really do about a slot. Slots are time frames which are given to each aircraft to depart. Your flight might be given a slot to depart in 1 hour from the scheduled departure time. But what we can do as crew and passengers is be fully ready to go with the doors closed, everybody on board, seated down, and the time that we're waiting for our slot to come, another plane might miss theirs. And then that time schedule, that slot can be given to us. This has happened to me quite a lot of times, I have to say, that we've been given a 2-hour slot. The captain has informed the passengers, then we get the usual groans and complaints, I'm going to miss my connection, blah blah blah. And then 10 minutes afterwards we get an announcement, ladies and gentlemen, our slot has been reduced, we're going to be leaving in 10 minutes time, which is always good news. Now, where do you come in all of this as a passenger? As crew, we're instructed to keep everybody seated and ready to go within obviously common sense. I mean, we're not going to stop you going to the toilet, or if it's feeling a bit stuffy, we would open the doors, of course. Legally, we're allowed to keep you on the plane up to 3 hours, but you have the right to leave whenever you want. Just don't expect to be allowed to come back on the plane for the flight, because you would have to go through security again, be scanned, be checked, and that would lead us to miss the slot because we'll be waiting for you. And we'll be doing a passenger rights video soon, explaining what you can and cannot do while traveling by plane. If an airline loses or damages your bag, how to claim compensation if a flight is delayed, etc, etc. We've had lots of requests for these, so they'll be done in the near future. So make sure you subscribe to our channel and give us a like to help us out too. That'll be great help for everyone. Last but not least is a very important secret. It's never eat directly off any tray table of any plane. The tray tables on board are where some of the most germs are on the whole aircraft, and this is because they're only really superficially cleaned and not on the turnarounds. That means that when people disembark and then you get on the plane and sit where they were seated, the germs are still there. It hasn't been cleaned. So whatever stains or whatever else have been put on that table has not been cleaned. And as clean as it may look, take our advice. If you are going to use the tray table, make sure you give it a quick wipe with a tissue and hand sanitizer if you have any, and cover it with some napkins. You can always ask the crew, flight attendants, just for some extra napkins to put on the table. It won't look like a fancy table at a restaurant, but at least the table will be cleaner, and also for the next passenger it will be clean as well, and that way you also reduce the risk of catching or spreading the germs. So I hope you learned something today from our top 5 airplane travel secrets. Drop a comment below if you've experienced anything like this on one of your flights, and you can also turn on the little notification bell in the bottom there, so you will be able to know when our next video comes out. We also have a cool shop with loads of great aviation themed things you can check out in the link in the description below. Thanks guys, and have safe flights.